Daylight breaks over the ridge. The hounds strike. No crowds, no cameras, just a track and the hounds that bring the story to life. That's what this show's about. Dogs, dirt roads, early mornings, and the people who live it. This is Creekside Chronicles. Hounds, hunting, and heritage. I am your host, Heath Hyatt, houndsman, hunter, and a lifelong student of the outdoors. Here, we chase more than game. We chase knowledge about hounds, hunting, and living the outdoor life the right way. From bear country to back roads, this is where the hunt meets heart, and every story runs a different trail. So pull up your chair by the creek, leash up your best hound, and let's get after it together. Performance starts in the feed. Inukshuk's high-fat content fuels long runs and hard hunts, giving dogs the steady energy they need, while quality protein supports faster recovery after the work is done. That's why I trust Inukshuk dog food. Packed with energy and nutrition dogs need to go further, run harder, and recover stronger. If you want extreme performance, you can look them up at Inukshuk Professional Dog Food or CoreyNutrition.com. All right, let's get everybody caught up on last week's events, because I'm not going to lie, the river and I have been in a full-blown disagreement. I've been telling y'all that I felt like the river had something personal against me, like I owed it money or I'd said something bad about his family. Because every time I showed up, which has been several times, it's handed me a big old piece of humble pie. Here, take that. You ain't catching nothing today. But Friday was different. Finally broke that curse. Spent about 5 hours out there. And wouldn't you know it, I was able to put about 7 of those little sneaky creatures in the boat. Not really. I catch and release. But I caught 7. And I say sneaky because I swear that those things have been watching me struggle for weeks. They like, nah, let's let him suffer a little bit longer. Now I'm trying to figure out how official my fishing skills are. The jury's still out on that. But I'll tell you this. Once I landed that first one in the boat, it was like something flipped. Everything just started to fall into place after that. Ain't that how it goes? You fight and you fight and you feel like you're doing everything wrong. And then you have one little small win. And all of a sudden everything starts making sense. I did spend another evening out on the creek chasing some trout. I didn't keep any this time, but I caught a few. Just enough to keep my ego from getting too big after my professional bass debut on Friday. And then Saturday. Now we switch gears a little bit. Saturday was the opening day of our spring gobbler season. And boy, what a day. I went up and stayed with my buddy in his cabin. It was about an hour and a half from my house, and we hunted on his property. So we got up the next morning, got out to this location where he normally goes and listens for these birds, and we were standing beside the truck, and the hoot owl lit up, and the crows started crowing, and there's that old thunder chicken, about 300 yards. So we ended up hearing about 4 different birds, which you could tell a couple of them were younger birds. You guys at turkey hunt, you know how to tell that. But I mean, the woods was alive. So we got set up and we slipped in about 100 yards from that one when he flew down. But he had company. He had hens and lots of hens. If you've turkey hunted, you already know how that goes. He wasn't interested in anything we had to say. Or maybe we just wasn't saying it right. Either way, He made a big loop down the holler. He worked his way up over the ridge and dropped down into a corner of a field we didn't have permission in, which is about as classic as it gets when it comes to turkey hunting. Oh, let me stay over here just where you can watch, but you can't touch. But we got close. We couldn't lay eyes on him, though. And while all that was going on, a couple of jakes started sparring. And I mean, like they were carrying on like they were trying to settle something from last season. Feathers flying, wings beating. You could hear it echoing through the woods. And it gets a little bit better. Because out of nowhere, here comes a hen in behind me. And when I say she was fired up, I mean she looked like she had somewhere to go, and we were all in her way. She was clucking and putting and calling and carrying on, running back and forth like she was late for a hair appointment. She slips in past me. She crosses the field. She heads straight to where my buddy was set up. He said she come within about 5 feet of him. 5 feet. And she hops up in a tree and she starts calling again. And we can hear that gobbler down in the holler. And the second he gobbles, she bails out of that tree and goes straight to him. Didn't even think twice. Just watching her for those few minutes, you realize really quick that we're not the ones in control. We like to think we are, but we're not. So we sat in there a little bit longer. We heard another gobble in behind us. We made a move and looped around. We did find a bunch of fresh sign, and we never could get him to answer back. So I don't know what happened to him. So we ended up coming back into that food plot where we was at that morning, hoping that those birds would break away and give us a chance. But it didn't happen until we checked the game camera at 1:53 p.m. Got to stop at 12 p.m. We stopped 5 minutes before. And wouldn't you know, here they come waddling through the field right where we were at. But yeah, I tell you, we didn't come home with a turkey. But what we did come home with was a good hunt. Because sometimes it's not about the end result. It's about being out there when the woods wake up. Hearing those gobblers roll through the hills. Watching everything unfold the way it's been happening long before we ever showed up. And if there's one thing that's tied this whole week together for me, from fighting those sneaky little fishes, didn't want nothing to do with me in the river, chasing those turkeys, it's this. You don't always win right away. Sometimes you got to just keep showing up, keep learning, keep adjusting. And then one day, whether it's a bass hitting your line or that gobbler closing the distance, things will finally start coming together. And other days, it reminds me of something very simple. You can't force the outcome. You can do everything right, and it still just doesn't go your way. Now, fishing, turkey hunting, dog training, they're not as different as people think. Because I'm working a young dog right now that reminds me a whole lot of those situations. Some days, she looks like she's got it all figured out. She's eager to please. She's focused. She's locked in. And other days, you're standing there, you're scratching your head, and you're wondering, did she forget everything we just worked on? She'll miss stuff she shouldn't miss. She gets very distracted. Squirrel, squirrel. Makes the same mistake twice. And if you're not careful, if you're like me, that's where frustration creeps in. And you start thinking, man, she should be further along than this. But then you think about the river. You think about all those trips where nothing worked. Until one day, like Friday, it did. And I thought about that gobbler. We did everything right. And we still didn't get him. And it hit me. Progress don't always show up when you want it to. And it definitely doesn't show up all at once. See, with a dog, just like anything else, you're not building perfection. You're building consistency. And consistency takes time. It takes repetition. It takes making mistakes. It takes letting them figure some things out instead of stepping in every single time. Just like on last week's episode. Are you overhandling? Because if you try to force it, force the timing, force the result, you end up with something that looks right in that moment, but doesn't hold up when it matters. Short-term success ends in long-term setbacks. Trust me on that. A young dog I've been working, she's not even a year old. She's 11 months old. She's not finished, not even close. But neither was I on that river. And neither was I in the turkey woods. And that's the point. Sometimes the best thing you can do in training, hunting, and anything is just keep showing up. Making reps. Putting in the work. Staying patient when things aren't clicking. And recognize just because you didn't get one today doesn't mean that you didn't move forward. Because one day, it's like the first fish hitting my line. Or the moment that everything starts to come together. You realize all those frustrating days, they weren't wasted. They were building something. They were building consistency. And consistency builds confidence. How many times have you heard me say that? So if you got a young dog that's testing you right now, good. It's helping you grow. So stay with it. Don't rush it. And don't force it. Let the process do the work. Because whether you're on a river, you're a gobbler, or a dog, the ones that are worth it usually make you earn it. You're not going to want to miss next week's episode. The trip to the Bluegrass State and a couple of days chasing bear with our good friend Jerry Barker. And don't forget about those sweepstakes month at W Hunting Supply. Every dollar you spend gets you in a raffle. If you buy any type of W apparel, you get 3 times the points. If you buy stickers or decals, you get 5 times the points. The grand prize is going to be $1,000. Second place is going to be $600. Fourth place is going to be $250. Fifth place is going to be $100. So get on to W Supply and check it out. And don't forget to send those emails to creeksidechroniclespodcast at gmail.com. Your questions and your stories. I can't wait to get on here and tell them. That's going to be a wrap for this week's episode of Creekside Chronicles. We appreciate you spending your time with us, whether you're in the truck, in the woods, or sitting by the creek just listening along. Thank you for walking this trail with us. And we got to say thank you to W Supply for hosting the podcast and supporting everything we do. Be sure to check them out and go to wsupply.com for all your hound hunting needs. Until next time, keep your dogs fed right, those leads tight, boots muddy, and we'll see you at the tree.
Tailgate drops before the light, coolers packed and the rig sitting right, tracking collars charged, beeping green, boots in the bed and the rifle's clean. Dog box rattling, engines hum, we're chasing bear till the day is done. Old ring barking like he knows what's near, nose to the wind, tail full of cheer. From the Virginia mountains to the Carolina clay, we're burning fuel and miles each day. Every turn's another tale, through mountain mist and paper trails. We see the sunset red in Tennessee, rise through the fog in old WV. North Carolina's pines echo loud with the cry of a hard-run hound. New York forest, Maine's deep snow, Vermont valleys where the black bears go. Truck keeps rolling, wheels don't care. We're chasing daylight, chasing bears. Rest stops few, the roads are long, but the fire in our hearts still burns strong. Wisconsin mornings cutting crisp and clear, Canada's wildwoods drawing near. Still got states we ain't run, but that hound dog fever won't let us quit. We see the sunset red in Tennessee, rise through the fog in old WV. North Carolina's pines echo loud with the cry of a hard-run hound. New York frost, Maine's deep snow, Vermont valleys where the black bears go. Truck keeps rolling, wheels don't care. We're chasing daylight, chasing bears. Gas station coffee, Alpha XL on the dash. Another back road, another bear track. Friends made fast and stories told slow, under stars where only hunters go. We see the sunrise gold in Canadian air, and it sets on a trail down in Appalachia. Packing steel and leather, grit and care, we're built for the road and chasing bears. So load the dogs and slam the gate, there's a trail ahead, we won't be late. From dawn to dusk, we're always there, chasing daylight, chasing them bears.